Yes, great morning, GAVarkadz! Ayan, magandang umaga sa lahat dito sa Pilipinas. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan sa iba't ibang bansa. Ayan, so magandang umaga sa lahat. And we're here at Gav Community FB page and simultaneously live at Gav page YouTube channel and YanTayoTV FB page. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone. At nakita niyo naman sa ating banner, ating special guest is all the way from Washington, USA. Ayan, maraming salamat. At talaga namang siya pride ng Olongapo City din. So we'll come to know more of her stories and her inspiring stories, of course, para naman tayo ma-inspire talaga because this is your morning dose of happy thoughts. Ayan, so shoutout muna kay Miss Desiree Sophie Kadahing dito sa GAVpage YouTube channel. Also to Miss Rachel May Bayadog and of course kay Bunso Maria Antonio Viernes from Zambales. Jeneline May Hernais, of course, shoutout. Maraming salamat to Rian Allegoria. Hello, shoutout po to Ate King Vlogs. Kasama natin ngayon 18K viewers. Shoutout everyone. Let us share this live streaming para mas marami pa tayo maka-good vibes ngayong umaga. Marami pa maging masaya. Ano nga ba maging masaya? Ang pagiging masaya naman ay pipiliin nyo lang maging masaya siya. Our special guest, nakita niyo naman nakasmile sa kanya, sa ating banner. At napakaganda. Pili ko may kahawig tong beauty queen din eh. When I saw her in the backstage a while ago, nung nakita ko siyang ganun, kumakain akong tinapay. Nandito na yung guest ka ako, kumakain na tinapay. O bigla akong kuha ako ng inumin, di ba? Di ba? Inom na ako, dyan na, di ba? So pag biglang tingin, para siyang si Dindy Gallardo, no? So tanggalin niyo yung salamin. Bala na kayo mag-edit. Tanggalin niyo na lang sa isip niyo yung salamin. Natatawa tuloy siya sa backstage. And shout out everyone and from our admin at Gav Community FB page. Hi GAVarkadz and great morning. And let us share this live streaming, guys. And to Kimberly Lays. Hello, good morning, Miss Kimberly Lays. Ayan. Wow, shout out to everyone. And hindi ko na patatagalin pa GAVarkadz. And before that, I'd like to acknowledge, of course, our program coordinator for our guests here at the Subic Bay, Greater Subic Bay area, by the way. Sa Ma'am King Tugade, maraming salamat. Dahil sa kanya ay makakadaupang palad natin. Wow, ang lalim ng aking Tagalog. Makakadaupang palad natin ang ating special guest ngayong umaga. Wow, Dindin Gallardo Beauty Queen. Sabi ni Ma'am King Tugade. Hello, Ma'am King. How are you over there? Ayan. Let us welcome, of course, our special guest. At ipapakilala ko muna siya. She was the editor-in-chief of Anchor. It's a school paper of the Olongapo City National High School dito sa siyudad ng Olongapo in 1993. Wow. She was an oratorical champion, NAMSIA soloist. Wow. Ang galing naman. Itong NAMSIA, ano to yung national, basta national competition yan, guys. Tanungin natin mamaya. Basta may national yon. Yung Y-Youth, di ba? Ayan, later, we will ask her about this. And she was also a binibining Olongapo candidate, di ba? Beauty queen nga. A diehard fan of Miss Lea Salonga, and she had actually a personal interview a few months ago with Lea Salonga. Wow, galing naman. And she used to work in Ecuador in a managerial position as international trainer for BPO. Ito yung mga tinatawag nating call centers. Yung mga BPO, business provider ba yun? Basta yung business. Tanungin na din natin later. Okay? So, this morning, we're going to ask our special guest about her activities, what she actually do in life, ngayong pandemic, before pandemic, yung kanyang mga struggles in life. Also, syempre, hindi porke nasa ibang bansa, wala nang struggle, guys. May mga struggle, syempre. At yung kanyang leadership style bilang isang manager. So, tatawin natin lahat yan later. And GAVarkadz, you could also ask your questions to our special guest, yung mga pertinenteng tanong lang po, ha? Alam niyo naman ako, napaka-prank ako sa inyong lahat. Pertinente lang. So, in logic, we call that pertinent, okay? Impertinente po yung ibang tanong kasi, so kailangan pertinent. Ay, yung mga ano lang, relevant. Wow! Ayun tawag na relevant na lang, wag nang pertinente. Pasaway din ako minsan na. Hello, and to Everyday Monday. Ang galing naman, Everyday Monday. Like and share na bossing, harang lang. Alam, hindi po kasi bossing big. Si Jacket yan po ito. And maraming salamat. Yakapin niyo po yung harang natin, yung ads natin dito sa Gav page. Bagong-bago lang po tayo monetize. Wala pa pong 10 araw. So, salamat sa inyong pagmamahal. GAVarkadz, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our special guest for today's Great Morning GAVarkadz Monday episode. She runs a project management office for Amazon, and she is now based in the United States of America, particularly in Washington State. Ano ba yan? Let's welcome Miss Tacy Gonzales. Palapakan. Hello, Ma'am Tacy. How are you?
Hi, Faith. Magandang umaga. Good evening dito sa amin, kabina.
Oo. Greet na po kayo sa inyo mga mahal sa buhay, kaibigan, mga katrabaho, mga bashers, kung meron kayong bashers.
Wala namang bashers siguro. Pero hello sa lahat ng mga taga-Olongapo.
Yan. Ayaw niyo po ba mag-hello sa mga hindi taga-Olongapo, yung mga sa Pilipinas?
Hello sa lahat ng mga nanonood. Salamat, Vic, sa pag-invite. At kay Tin, ang aking high school classmate na may pakana ng lahat ng to.
May pakana ng lahat. Hi daw, sabi niya, Ma'am King Tagado. Ako talaga may pakana ng mga bago na ito. Ako lang po yung pasimuno, siya naman yung pakana.
Oo.
Yes, di ba? So, GAVarkadz, our special guest, actually, past 7 na po yata ng gabi doon sa US, sa kanyang kinalalagyang state. Ayan. So, I was corrected kanina. Nasaan na kayo nag-correct sa akin? Susumbong ko yun. Hindi ko alam kung makilala niyo po yan, pero let's just wait for her. Natuwa naman sa kanya. Ayan, mega love shoutout to all EMC2 beauties. Ano tong EMC2 beauties, ma'am?
Section namin yan ng high school, Einstein. Oo.
Einstein?
For Einstein, oo.
Katalino naman pala talaga to. Einstein, di ba? So malamang yung mga buhok nyo nun, puro buwaghag din, no? Parang Einstein.
Oo, hindi nagsusuklay.
Ayan.
Sobrang
is, alam ko naman pong hindi naman po kayo nahirapan pumunta dyan malamang. So, kwento nyo naman sa amin yung pagpunta nyo dyan, gano'n na kayo tagal, sino mga kasama nyo dyan. Ayan. So, please tell us, also with your, kung meron mo kayo naging struggles when you were new there, So would you mind to please kwento niyo naman po sa amin?
Sure, Vic. I got here in 2018. I think it was, if I remember, November 2018. Before that, I was already working for Amazon. 2017 nila ako na-hire dyan sa Manila. And then may post sila dito sa Seattle because Amazon is based here in Seattle. May post sila, in-applyan ko. Tapos, nakapasa naman ako. So, yun, lumipat kami dito ng 2018. And the job I had at that time was really related din dun sa ginagawa ko na nasa Pilipinas pa ako. So, ang trabaho ko is vendor manager ang tawag sa kanya noon, no? Which is yung mga BPO companies, di ba na-mention mo kanina, business process outsourcing companies. Ang tawag natin dyan is contact centers or call centers, no? So, since 2003, nagtatrabaho na ako sa call centers din sa Manila. And yun yung trabaho ko for Amazon nung una nila akong hinire. Yun, kaya ako napadpad dito sa Washington State.
Wow. GAVarkadz, narinig natin malinaw yan. Tagalog yung sinabi niya. Hindi na ako magkata-translate. Usually kasi nagta-translate pa ako, no? Di ba? Sa nasa ibang bansa. Pero thank you so much. And shoutout po na ulit to Everyday Monday. Hi co-host Daisy Gonzales. Mega love shoutout sa mga taga-USA. Mukhang nasa USA itong si Sir Everyday Monday. Ayan. Thumbs up din and share din from Eva Eda. Maraming salamat. Morning po sa lahat. Morning po kay Ma'am Daisy. Yan, of course. Ayan. And to Kimberly Lace, good morning daw from Gab Community. And thank you so much, Sir Everyday Monday. Ayan. And Ma'am Daisy, you were once an oratorical champion. So, as an oratorical champion, pag may R tsaka L talaga, as an oratorical champion, ano nga po ba ang piniprepare? Siyempre ngayon may mga oratorical pieces, contest pa rin tayo sa mga schools, sa mga elementary, high school, and colleges. So ano nga ba ang katangian ng isang master ng ganito, ng oratorical pieces sa contest?
Hindi ko alam kung matatawag ako master, tsaka ang tagal-tagal na nun, Vic. Pero sa naaalala ko, it's, ang kagandahan kasi ng oratorical pieces, meron ka ng minimemorize, no? So, okay. So the first thing is kailangan alam na alam mo yung piece mo. So you have to really memorize it so that you have the confidence to present it or to recite it. Yun ang naaalala ko ng time na yun. Siyempre laging may kaba kapag sumasali ka sa mga ganyan, pero mas malamang pa rin yung excitement. So yeah, so it's really just about knowing your piece, knowing what you need to say, and yung sana kahit na kabado ka ng konti is maalala mo lahat ng kailangan mo sabihin, because the worst thing that can happen is yung andun ka sa gitna tapos wala kang masasabi, di ba?
Mental block.
Yeah, mental block ka. So I think it's much better than spontaneous speaking. Meron din kasing category, no, naalala ko na spontaneous speaking, no, which is you're just given a topic and then you have to talk about it, which is much harder because you have to think on the spot. But oratorical pieces are much easier. Yun ang naalala ko dyan.
Okay, tsaka kailangan po yata dyan malinaw ang diction mo, di ba?
Oo.
Hindi pa lang oratorical pieces kasi nag-twist lang kapag may R tsaka L, lalo na pag mabilis.
Magaling yung trainer ko noon, si Mr. Ariel Lansang. Ano na yata siya ngayon? Hindi ko ako sure kung superintendent na ba siya or what, pero siya yung English teacher namin noon, naalala ko. Siya yung trainer ko.
Mr. Ariel Lansang dito sa Schools Division sa office ng Olongapo City sa DepEd. Ayan, maraming salamat. Narinig ko po pangalan niya, masyadong famous si Sir Ariel. Doon naman si Namsia, isa kang soloist. So, would you mind to tell us a very short about Namsia?
Hindi ko alam ko, soloist ba ako noon? Parang akala ko choir yata eh. iba yata yung memory ni King. Pero I'm sure marami magaling na soloist galing sa Olongo po noon. If I remember, NAMSA is National Association of Music Composers or Composition for Young Artists, parang gano'n.
Apo. Ayun. Basta may gano'n na po yun. May national, may young, may
Kasi naman, Vic, yung mga tanong mo, parang 25 years ago pa yun.
Okay, tanungin natin yung mga 20 years ago lang. Hindi pwede. Yung as a binibining Olonga po candidate, ayan. So, how did actually it contributed to your personality development, beauty pageants like that? So, ano po na-contribute nito sa inyo?
Ang pinakamagandang nakuha ko from that experience yung mga kaibigan ko na hanggang ngayon kaibigan ko pa rin. Ang kasabayan ko doon si Janice Alo. Nandiyan pa rin siya sa ngayon sa Subic ang alam ko. Tapos marami pa nakikita-kita pa rin kami even before I left, mga once a year or once every 2 years. So magandang alam mo i-reminisce yung kabataan mo kasama yung mga kasama mo na experience yun before. And I would say ako, Vic, nung kabataan ko napakalakas ng loob ko yun. kahit na anong contest sa talihan ko, it's all for experience. And when I look back now, the best things about it were really kasi di ba marami kang pwedeng matutunan sa labas ng classroom, no?
Yes.
Which is about relating with other people or believing in yourself, having confidence, which are, they're not tested or you don't really get to know them until you're out about in the world. That can't be, learned inside the classroom. So that's I think my biggest takeaway from, yung mga contest na sinasalihan ko. I think there was a time when I was in high school na mas marami pa yata akong absent kaysa sa nasa loob ako ng klase. Kasi nasa mga contest ako. Kasi I remember I was also writing, joining writing contests. I remember that as well. So syempre pag sasali ka or camping, ng Girl Scout din kasi ako noon. So lagi ako nasa labas ng classroom.
So, ibig sabihin talaga pag sa public school talaga tayo, mukhang 60% ang panahon natin ay nasa mga activities sa labas ng classroom, no? Tulad ditong pandemic, sabi ni Kim Chiu, bawal lumabas. Bawal lumabas. And shout out muna kay Rachel May, Bayadog of course, to Lors Forbes. Hello once again. Hi po, host, we are the North. You are the North. So, nandyan kayo sa Ilocos. Akala ko naman nasa US. At tininda ko tayong shout out, of course, to Eda, Lauro. Ayan. True, laging wala yan sa classroom. Sabi ni Miss Lors.
Kaklase ko si Lors. Si Lori, aming class president. Ang dakilang class
president. Magandang umaga po. Nasa Pilipinas din po ba sila o nasa ibang planet?
Si Lors nasa taga Mabayuan yata siya ngayon.
Mabayuan, USA. How you were there? Yeah, Hello to Miss Vinaria Cuevas, of course. Edna Lupa. Shout out to Mary Jane Bayabay also. And hello daw to Ma'am Lori from King Tugade. Yan, nakita-kita magkakatropa. Magkakatropa, di ba? Hello po, ma'am. Kumusta po sa Mabayuan State dyan? Ayan. Tita ko po yung treasurer ng barangay. Pero hindi pa po ako nakaingin aginaldo kahit minsan. Charot. Ayan. So let's ask our special guest today. Mama, sabi mo nga dati, you're napakalakas ng loob mo sa mga pagsali sa mga iba't ibang competitions. So, malamang, napaka-explorer po ba kayo o adventurer? Dalawa, parehas ba o magkaiba?
Explorer? Pag-explorer ka of places, no? Of places. Ewan ko lang, hindi ko talaga alam what it was about. Pero I was very confident. And then when I got older, actually, doon ko na-realize na, marami akong kailangang matutunan or marami pa akong kailangang malaman, no? And then, I think, nung college ako, doon ko nakita na, ang mundo ay hindi lang Olongapo City, no? Nung dumating ako ng Manila, nung college ako, doon ko nakita na, napakaraming possibilities na pwede mong gawin as a person. And you know, your only limit is your confidence in yourself, no?
Yes,
Yun lang. Kung wala ka nun, then you won't try, right? So it's important. Kaya even now when I'm raising my kids, I always tell them, even if you fail, right? That's fine. That's part of it, right? Mas maganda yung mag-try ka. Mag-try ka lang. Tingnan mo lang kung hindi mo malalaman hanggat hindi mo subukan.
Yes, totoo yan. Because sabi nga is, there's no harm in trying. Diba?
That's right.
That's naman sa pagsisiyan mo dahil hindi mo tinry. O diba? O GAVarkadz.
Yun lang. Huwag ka lang magta-try ng mga business na hindi mo pa napag-isipan. Kasi yung mga ganon, yung hindi mo na mababalik yung puhunan mo, di ba? Kailangan pag-isipan mo na ng konti. Hindi lang try ng try. Kailangan magplano ka din, mag-isip ka, and you do your work and your research too.
Do your research. O GAVarkadz, wag bitaw ng bitaw. Oo. Kung lalaking halaga tapos magpapatulpo lang kayo. Shout out everyone. Of course, ayan, Lors is in the SBMA admin. Wow, Ma'am Lors. Bikini man. Eto, ako ang nanay niyan. Eto po, nanay niyo po pala siya. Ma'am Tacy. Siya po nag-correct sa akin.
Siya nag-correct sa'yo. Oo, stricto yung nanay ko.
Si ma'am niyo pala po siya. Ayan. Hello po, Ma'am Georgie. Ayan. Ay po pala ang buting ina na ating special guest. Ayan po, mapapansin niyo po, Ma'am Georgie, napalitan ko na po yung banner as I've said a while ago. Diba? Ayan po yung mga pinakapangyarihan. Ako po kasi ang gumagawa. Ayan. Hello to Miss Debs. Ano po itong TVD? Privado ba yan? Privado. Hello daw, classmates. Nakita ko ito mga magkaka-classmates. Shout out for 20K viewers, of course. Miss Stacy po, ang Lea Salonga ng batch namin. Huwag po kayong mag-alala. Sa sample siya ng chorus mamaya. Yung Bakit lapit ang mahal. Yan, di ba? Hello to Mami Corazon, Brillo Carpio of Antipolo City. Ang buting ina din ni Makoy, ang isa nating artist at host dito sa Gav community sa mga shows natin. Miss Stacy, di ba? So, malamang you were really raised by your parents, especially by your mom. Ang sobra-sobra talaga full of support. Siyempre, full of love. Kasi masakit ngang marinig. Actually, pag naririnig ko yung sinasabi nila na kulang sa aruga, yan, kaya ganyan, di ba? So, ikaw, halimbawa, ma'am, ikaw ang magulang, siyempre, magulang ka na ngayon, may mga anak ka, may magsasabing sa'yo na, sa yung anak ng ganun, tas maririnig mo, hindi nila alam na ikaw yung magulang. Ano pong mafe-feel ng isang magulang na kapag sinasabihan yung anak ng ibang tao na kulang ka sa aruga ng yung mga magulang, kaya yan? Ano ka?
Wala ako masyadong advice sa pagiging magulang. Although, ang experience ko kasi sa pagiging parent is you have to adjust your parenting depende sa anak, no? Ang iba't ibang bata, iba-ibang mga pangangailangan. So, I have 4 boys, no? Ang eldest ko is already 23 years old. Nandiyan siya sa Olongapo ngayon kasi pandemic, pero usually nasa Manila siya. And my youngest is 10, no? And all of them are boys, and lahat sila iba-ibang personality, so iba-ibang mga pangangailangan, no? So I think the best learning I have as a parent is you always have to continuously learn. Hindi pwedeng i-apply yung isang approach or isang method sa lahat ng mga anak mo, or you have to adjust depending on the child. And And the other thing I've learned recently, kasi I have older children, right? 23 and magto 22 na yung isa in May. In April. um, there's a saying by Khalil Gibran. He's a poet and a writer, and in one of his poems, he said na hindi natin pag-aari yung mga anak natin, no? And that was really a good lesson for me because all you can really do is teach your children, pero hindi mo sila pwedeng diktahan kung ano yung iisipin nila, kung ano yung gusto nilang gawin, gagawin nila yung gagawin nila. So the only thing that you can really do is teach them as much as you can of what you know, pero it doesn't mean, that they will do exactly as you say or what you say or even close to what you say, right? Because they have their own decisions and you don't own them, diba? They belong to the future. Yeah, and isa sinabi ni Khalil Gibran. That was really a good lesson for me as a parent. So you can just really do your best, no, as bilang isang magulang, which is to provide for them, make sure that you're there for them, and teach them as much as you can.
Wow. Tama. Correct na correct. 401% GAVarkadz. Diba? Diba na nanonood ngayon at nakikinig? Oo. Actually, sinishare ko rin po yan sa iba kong mga pangaral. Pangaral. Nermon. Diba? Hindi talaga natin pag-aari yung mga anak natin, hindi robot na susunod kung ano gusto natin. So, totoo yan. Yung sinabi ni Ma'am, teach them, di ba, as much as we can. At ang sinishare ko naman is guide them talaga. And even on their decisions, sa kanilang mga choices. So, di ba, pero totoo yung sinabi ng ating special guest, GAVarkadz, hindi natin talaga masasabi na exactly kung ano yung gusto natin sabihin, ayun din naman ang kanilang gagawin o pwedeng isipin at gawing choices. So, GAVarkadz, hindi ganun madali talaga maging magulang. At sabi ng ating special guest, we need to apply different methods, techniques, parang teacher din yan. May tinatawag kasi tayong mga teaching strategies. At sa mga magulang, may strategies din ng mga magulang. Dapat kung paano tayo mag-adjust din, iba-iba kasi ang ugali. So, gaano po kahirap magpalaki ng 4 na lalaking anak, ma'am?
Napakadali. Mas madali siguro kaysa sa magkaroon ng babaeng anak. Siyempre malaki ang responsibilidad bilang isang magulang. You have to take your role very seriously, di ba? Pero hindi naman siya mahirap na alam mo yun. Siyempre, you have to make your own sacrifices as a parent. You have to provide for them, di ba? Lahat ng mga pangangailangan nila hanggat sa kaya mong ibigay. Alam mo yun, kailangan ibigay mo sa kanila. Yun lang naman papapayo ko. Also, I see, alam mo yun, may mga magulang din na ako nakikita or mga kaibigan ko rin na sometimes things don't turn out, the way you expect, di ba? Hindi mo na i-blame yung sarili mo bilang magulang, di ba? As long as you've done your best, di ba? Hindi naman lahat nasa control mo bilang magulang.
Yes, totoo yun, GAVarkadz. Kaya sabi ni Ma'am King, yes, you can only do so much as a parent. And shout out to Ma'am Leonie A. Tamo. Hello po, good morning.
Kaklase ko rin yung si Leonie.
Hello po. Great wisdom from Khalil Gibran. You shared taste. Sabi ni Ma'am King. Hello daw to Leonie from Ma'am King, of course. Hello to Sir Tadeo Flores Manuel. Good morning, batchmate Tacy. Good morning, Gav community. Likewise po, Sir Tadeo, thank you so much na lagi ka na nanonood sa amin. And soon, sana makakollaborate ka namin sa ating mga community outreach programs ng Gav community, syempre. Sana all my anak na boy, kasi kung magpahabol, hindi lang ginawa, mapapagin. Sabi ko sa inyo eh. Diba? So yun, ganito na lang po. Pag nakatapos na ng pag-aaral yung anak niyong dalaga, hanapan nyo na lang. Minsan ang hirap din maghanap, lalo na kung hindi nga rin gusto. Minsan gusto na magulang yung mapapangasawa, ayaw naman ng anak. So, huwag nyo na lang pong gustuhin. Okay, so yun. Kudos to Mama Georgia Parian for raising one empowered woman in Tacy. I should know, ampon ako during our teens. Alam ko, ano po yung
Yes.
PBD? Privado ba yun?
Si Bebs, ano ko yan, best friend ko yan ng high school.
Wow. O, yung best friend ko ng high school, wala na, hindi ko na nakita. Hello daw po to Tadeo, Sir Tadeo from Ma'am King, of course. Thumbs up din. Maraming salamat, Queenie Bazaar. Ayan. Nag-level up ang high school reunion. Thanks, GAVarkadz. Dito sa ating Great Morning.
Dito kami nag-high school reunion. Ayan.
Welcome sa lahat ng mga participants natin sa reunion ngayong umaga. Maraming salamat, Annalyn Jesumita, dito sa GAVpage YouTube channel. And Ma'am Casey, sabi mo nga, totoo yun, hindi naman madaling mag-raise ng 4 kasi kami 3 kami. So, pero ako medyo napilok kasi ako. So, nasa abroad yung mga brothers ko. So, pero 'di ba? Nasa pagpapalaki talaga ng magulang because isa na po akong ulila, almost 20 years ago. Magta 20 years na sa September. So, kaya yan. So, hindi ganun kadali ang mabuhay. Kaya tama po yung sinasabi niya, you can do as much as a parent at talagang kailangan turuan because when we as parent don't teach our kids how to live in their whole life, so malamang kung saan-saan yan mapupunta. Di po ba? Ayan. So, thank you so much. And I have another question po. So, kailan po kayo nag-settle down? Yun po bang inyong love of your life ngayon ay pang-ilang boyfriend? Pang-ilang talaga? Ang ganda ng tanong. Pang-ilang boyfriend? Ang host na to makatanong kasi. Ayan.
Napakaganda naman ng tanong mo, Vic. Actually, I was a parent very early, no? Actually,
Okay.
I was still in my 4th year of college,
Okay.
which is obviously unplanned and unexpected, which also was a good experience for me looking back. Siyempre, when I was experiencing it, it was very difficult. But looking back, a lot of the things that, made me as a person was also from that experience. Ang maganda lang sa, I think sa mga anak ko is malalaki yung agwat ng ages nila. So hindi ganun ka-stressful yung papalaki ka ng mga anak na sabay-sabay. Medyo may agwat ng konti. So yeah, now my husband is somebody that I met maybe 10 years ago now, and we met at work. And I'm super, super lucky and fortunate and blessed that he is in my life. I don't think that I would survive here in the US, lalo na without his support. No, marami siyang sacrifices for me. So, for example, pagpunta dito sa US was, it was the next step in my career, and it meant that he had to leave his own job, and he had a very, successful and fulfilling job, and he had to leave that. He had to give that up to come here with me to support me in my dream, right? So, yung women empowerment, 'di ba, na sinasabi nga ni Bebs kanina, my mom raising me as an empowered woman, but really, women empowerment cannot happen if there are no supportive fathers and brothers and husbands, right? Hindi kayang ma-achieve yung equality with women or women empowerment nang walang support ng men to be allies in women equality. So I'm truly blessed that I have a very supportive husband. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Napag-usapan ko yung supportive husband. So, hindi ka na masyado kung kakalkalin yung naging love life mo. Pero, na-analyze ko naman. Sabi nga ni President Duterte. Diba? Yeah. So, Ma'am Daisy, sabi mo kanina hindi mahirap magpalaki ng mga puro anak na lalaki. Ano ba yan? Kabaligtaran ba yan o totoo?
Totoo yun. ayun, hindi masyadong mahirap. I think, no, kasi marami akong kaibigan na may mga anak na babae na syempre it's very different, even the emotional needs of girls, 'di ba? You have to be always present for them. Hindi ko sinasabing you don't have to be present for boys, but I think that it's just much easier. I don't know, maybe it's a bias kasi boys lang naman talaga ang experience ko.
Emotional
So,
po ba yung mga babae talaga? Totoo yan, di ba? Oo. Mas emotional po ba kayo mga babae? Pagtatalunan
ako, when I was growing up, napaka-stricto ng nanay ko, and I remember, I remember that marami kaming clash sa personality when I was growing up. But also it's because I think I was a very uh, proud child. Parang feeling ko nung bata pa ako, alam ko na lahat. No? Napakahirap akong turuan.
confident lang po talaga.
Napakahirap kong turuan.
Opo. Natatawa si Mami Georgie, oh. Ha, ha, ha. Di ba? Ayan, maraming salamat. And sabi ni Mama King, ayan, women empowerment cannot be achieved without the support of men as allies, supportive as yan, di ba? Pag puro babae lang kakampi nyo, malamang hindi empowered women. So, di ba, kailangan may kakampi ka ng, may alay ka talaga, di ba? Meron kang kasabot din talaga, tsaka meron kang mga kasapakat, ano pa ba, partners in crime. Di ba? Sara Duterte daw. Sabi niya, Rachel, yan ka na, nagsisimula ka na naman. Si Rachel po is from Tarlac itong ating viewer na to. Regular viewer sa ating.
Bakit ba napapasok si Duterte sa usapan ng women? Hindi ako masyadong alam kung ano nangyayari.
Ako hindi masyadong maalam sa nangyayari sa bansa, pero alam ko na yung mga galawang politika. Charot. Pero ako talaga ay supportive ako sa gobyerno, hindi dahil sa presidente lang. Oo, totoo. Because we need to be submissive to the government that's being installed by God. Wow. Whatever president we have. So, ginusto niyo yan mga bumoto. So, wala tayong magagawa, ha? Salamat sa pagiging stricto ni Mami Georgie Parian. A blessing for us girls. So, sabi niya, si Ma'am Lors, ayan,
maraming fans ang nanay ko.
Oo nga, mukhang meron tayong mga ma-unveil na mga kukuleto mamaya. Dito sa ating tinatawag na reunion ng mga taga-OCNHS. Hello po from Miss Rosemary Salvatera Yabot. Hello po sa inyo, Ma'am Rosemary. Good morning. Ang kasunod na tanong po natin, kailangan pahirap ng pahirap. Hindi naman, medyo madali lang itong kasunod na tanong. So, Ma'am Casey, so bakit po kayo napasok sa work when it comes sa BPO? So, bakit po nagustuhan yan? Gustong-gusto mo ba talaga na meron kang mga minamanage na personnel o mga tao? Ano bang gusto mo talaga na i-share pagdating sa mga tao?
So, my job or how I ended up in the BPO industry was purely by accident, actually. Ang aking course nung college was development studies, which is like economics for developing countries, no? And yung path na yan is really more for government service, no? Or working for like it's a social science type of work. So nagtrabaho din ako for government for about 4 years. It was the first term of GMA. I worked for the Office of the President, under the Commission for Urban Poor. I worked there for 4 years. And my experience at that time was, it was actually good in the sense na, kasi maganda yung office namin. Our office was helping the urban poor, of kung ano yung mga projects for them, ganyan. But at the same time, I found it very frustrating because it's not easy to work for the government. Uh, not because, not because the government is evil or anything like that, but just because um, things really take time. It's very, very slow. And I think, and I was very young then, and I was very, I think, maybe impatient. No, I wanted to see results immediately, and so I found it frustrating. And then at that point, I had a lot of friends that were working for call centers. So I worked for a call center as kind of like a break. Um, so I applied as a trainer, but I didn't get accepted. I started as an agent. No, I answered calls for maybe about 6 months before I moved on to the next role. And then I stayed there. Part of the reason why I stayed there was because, first of all, the pay was really, it paid really well, and at the same time, it was making use of my skills. Right, I was comfortable with the English language, and I liked relating with people. I was My first few jobs after being an agent was as a trainer, and I found satisfaction in teaching. Um, so that's how I ended up. And then my roles after that. No, you mentioned Vic. I went to Ecuador. I was then site director. I stood up two contact centers in Ecuador at that time. My first assignment was for a year, and then it ended up getting extended because the project was not finished. So that was my experience. I think uh, it would not, it's not a dream job, right? You don't, I don't think you grow up to say, I would want to work for the call center industry, not because it's a bad job, right? But it's just not something you dream about. You dream to become a doctor or, an astronaut, those are the dreams, right? But I think for me, what I realized was, as long as you should always feel grateful that you have a job, right?
Yes.
It's not you know I always tell anybody who cared to listen, as soon as you look at the clock, no, once you start counting down, yung ano na ba, malapit na ba mag 5 o'clock, uuwi na ba ako? As soon as you start being like that, it means that you have to leave your job and find a different job, because you can't be like that, yung magbibilang ka ng oras, no, with your job, because you have to really give yourself to your job. You have to be dedicated, and alam mo yun, hindi pwedeng nagbibilang ka kung ano yung ibibigay sa'yo ng employer mo, right? But instead, you really have to dedicate yourself. And I'm not saying na magpakaalila ka sa trabaho. You have to have that balance, right? But at the same time, uh, you have to you have to be grateful that you are blessed with a job, because it's not, and the way to repay that is to really be dedicated with it. So it could be any job, right? It could be any job. Uh, my advice is, you take it seriously, right? And you really are loyal, right, to your company. Even if, alam mo, marami akong naririnig na, for instance, people that quit their jobs because they have horrible bosses, or they have, office mates that are horrible, and hindi yun maaalis kahit saan ka pumunta. Kahit saan ka pumunta, laging may challenge. Di ba? The only thing that you can influence is yourself, right? And uh, be a positive influence for the people around you. Yeah, and be dedicated to your job. Yeah. So I would say, you know, although it was not my dream job, right? I've built a career around the BPO industry, and it has been very good to me. It has given me a chance to really travel the world, right? And like right now, I would not have been able to give my children a chance to be here, experience life in a different country if it were not for this job, right? And the thing that we need to do is to really be devoted to our job. Although I think that's a little bit old-fashioned, if you think about it. But all I'm saying is, um, there's nothing that can replace hard work. No, walang substitute for hard work. Kahit gaano ka katalino or gaano ka kagaling, you have to put in the work to be successful.
That's a very great answer. And that was from candidate number 14.
Thank you.
Oo, yung mga counting mo nagbibilang. Hindi na naman kayo guys, at totoo naman yun. Kapag titingin kayo ng tingin sa oras, so malamang hindi na kayo nag-enjoy sa work nyo, or malamang may naghihintay sa inyong sundo sa labas, or merong kayong pupuntang outing, birthday. Iba naman, pag nagbibilang naman na kayo sa relasyon, sa pag-ibig, ibig sabihin hindi na rin kayo masaya. Malamang, meron po kayo ibang kakatagpuin din. So, isip-isip kapag nagmamadaliin yung mga jowa, so ibig sabihin may iba pong pupuntahan. Okay? So, malamang, may ibang ka-anniversary or ka-mansary. Intriga ba ito? GAVarkadz, we really need to be not only committed but dedicated sa lahat ng ating ginagawa. Gaya ng sinasabi ng ating special guest ngayong umaga. O, diba? Sabi ni Ma'am King to God, there's so many nuggets of wisdom. Totoo yan. Para siya namimigay ng 10 box ng nuggets. Chicken nuggets. Ito naman, wisdom nuggets. You have to be grateful that you have a job, even if it is not a dream job. O, diba? From Ma'am King. Of course, totoo yan. Actually, hindi ko rin naman to dream job. Pero I really enjoy this. Kahit na puyat, pagod, kulang sa kain, kulang sa tulog. Diba? But it's actually the fulfillment and happiness that it brings to our lives. Tsaka knowing our purpose, sabi nga nung aking topic kanina umaga, emptiness, you feel empty kasi kapag hindi mo alam yung purpose mo talaga. Feeling mo wala kang kwenta. Diba? Wherever you go, there will be challenges. The only you can do is to be a positive influence to people around you. That's true. Diba? Mula sa ating bayani, Ma'am Tacy, ayan. Tacy ng tahanan. Gagawa ako ng ganung show. Nandun sa ating around the world with Gav. Because she's been to different places already, di ba? There's nothing that can replace hard work to be successful, di ba? Ang dami na lang mga Hey, what's up din sa'yo? Ruby Panya, shout out to you, of course. Thanks daw from Rachel Esma. Maraming salamat din. What's up? Ako. Ruby, 3 beses ka nag-WhatsApp. Ano bang akala mo? Welcome everyone. Di ba? And knowing that our special guest is not just, hindi ko siya masasabing brainy, guys. Oo. Hindi ko siya masasabing brainy, pero I really love our special guest kasi she really loves to take risks. She really loves to learn. Tsaka she really loves to be with people. Kasi, di ba Ma'am Tace, yung learning kasi natin, it's not all about we just learn by our own self. But we learn from different people na nakakasalamuha natin, different cultures, from different countries. Yung guest ko po kahapon na taga-Austria, 10 years pa lang siya sa Austria, pero sa Ecuador talaga siya isinilang lumaki. Diba? Sana nag-meet pala kayo kahapon. Diba? Sana nag-meet kayo kahapon ng special guest. So, ayan. Ma'am Tacy, diba? Naalala ko si Tacy ng tahanan talaga. Si Tacy ng tahanan naman yun, GAVarkadz. Tacy. Tama, Tacy din yun. Spell niya Tacy. So, bilang isang, kayo po ay may managerial position, anong struggles ng isang manager sa kanyang mga minamanage sa tao? Ano ba yung mga common at tapos yung mga uncommon? Common na situations at struggles, tapos yung masyadong rare situations or mga happenings with your subordinates.
So I think one of the one of the challenges is
May
the
panggulo ko dun sa tanong.
ay sorry.
Paano
Sige,
mo yung kasi nasa solution process ka, di ba? So, paano yung solution na ginagawa kapag may mga ganyang nilalang? Sige po, go ahead. Sorry for interrupting.
So, actually maganda yung tanong mo. Yung sa akin yung pinaka-challenging right now, pagdating ko dito sa US is the culture piece. That's something that I had to learn coming here kasi ang yung mga nagre-report sa akin nasa ibang bansa din. May mga taga Costa Rica, taga India. Alam mo yung sinasabi nila na multicultural workplace. Yun yung workplace namin. So the challenge for me is to really understand the nuances of the culture, and to make sure that I am not biased because of my own, my own experiences or where I come from. For example, the big difference that I see in terms of culture is, in my experience sa Pilipinas, no, employees are non-confrontational, or Filipinos in general are, we want smooth relationships, right? And we think na kung if somebody is very direct, right, that it's disrespectful, or it's not a good thing. And then in other cultures that's not true. If there are cultures that speak directly, right, like Americans, I would say, or even my coworkers that are just from different countries, and I wouldn't mention the countries, right, because it's also you're generalizing as well. But I guess it's just my observation that that cultural nuances, right? You have to be aware of your own biases and where you come from as a culture, and you don't apply your biases to the people that you work with. The other thing is, alam mo yung motivation na tinatawag nila na, oh, you have to learn how do your people get motivated. You have to motivate them, di ba? Lagi natin naririnig yan sa mga leadership seminar. You have to motivate your people. That is, in my opinion, a myth. No? Hindi yan, you are not a psychologist. You cannot get into your employees' heads and figure out what will motivate them, right? It's almost unwinnable. It's impossible to you can make the workplace positive. That's as much as you can do, but you cannot motivate people, especially if they're not motivated themselves, right? So for me, the simplest way to do it is to have clear goals, right? What is the goal for this employee? Ano ba yung kailangan niyang gawin, right? And then you give that person, you write together with your employee what are his or her objectives, and the objective has to be, what they teach us in school. It has to be a SMART objective. It's very specific. It's measurable, right? It's time bound, right? For example, you have to deliver X% by June 2021. So that's a very specific goal, right? And the only thing that you need to do as a leader is to enable, ibigay mo kung anong makakatulong sa empleyado para ma-meet niya yung goal niya. But don't waste your time or your effort motivating the person. The person has to be motivated in themselves to achieve their objective. Obviously, you don't give them an impossible objective because that's demotivating, right? You have to give them what is appropriate to their capability, right? And what is achievable, and you measure them against that. It's that simple. Yun yung sa akin na, yung mga attitude problem, yung mga ganon, marami ako naririnig na, kailangan i-address mo yung attitude. Actually, if the person is effective, right? Their attitude is what makes them unique, right? You don't have to correct that, or you don't have to address any of that as long as it's not interfering with how effective they are in their job. And as long as they meet their goal, that's about the most that you can do, right? It's you measure them against the goal that you both agreed to, right? So it's simple for the person, and it's simple for you as a manager as well. Hindi yung motivate mo pa sila. So yeah. So I think that's what I do now as a manager. That's what I try to do, is to give them very specific goals, very specific objectives, and you measure them against those.
Yon, GAVarkadz. So hindi lang talaga sapat yung pagmo-motivate ng tao. Kailangan talaga specific goals talaga na dapat na gawin, na ma-achieve, di ba? So parang sa mga magulang, iniisip ko yan, no? Kuminsan yung mga magulang, bungangan ng bunganga. Pero hindi naman, itinuturo ko rin dapat gawin ng anak. So more on sermon lang, sermon, mga panahon namin, ganito ganyan, swerte nyo na ngayon, marinig ni Ma'am Casey yan, sigurado mga panahon. Narinig ko rin sa mama ko. Sabi ko, Nay, yung panahon nyo po kasi panahon siguro ng hapon yun. Kasi late na nag-asawa ang mother ko, talagang pang panahon ng hapon siguro yun. So 36 siya nag-asawa, so nung pinanganak ako, 44 yata siya, 45. So hindi pa nga ako, di ba? Hindi pa nga ako dapat bunso. Wala eh. So, in short, GAVarkadz, so hindi sapat lang yung puro lang tayo motivate. So we need to let people do what is needed to be done. Kailangan merong action na ginagawa. Hindi yung puro lang tayo pangaral. So kailangan din paluin mo na din. Paluin mo na din. Sabi ni naman ng Bible yan, guys, ang pamalo at pangaral. Diba? Kuminsan kasi ang tao, pag masyado mong nabebe, nagpapabebe lang. Pabebe ng pabebe. Ayan. Shout out everyone. Sabi ni Ma'am King, on motivation, of course, you can impossibly motivate people. It's a myth. You cannot get into their heads and figure yourself what can motivate them. From Ma'am Casey. So minsan talaga alamat na lang yung pinag-uusapan ng ganun. Hindi yata nagiging makatotohanan. Sometimes over-motivated yung iba. Wala naman kasi alam na sure target na gagawin talaga. Diba? Ayan. So Rachel, from Rachel, thanks. Yeah, thanks. As a leader, give your people a specific goal and objective, from Ma'am Casey. Maraming salamat sa ating moderator.
type si...
Diba? Napakasipag talaga ni Ma'am. Dapat po talaga kayo maging senior high school principal ng Mondrian Ora College, Subic Bay Freeport Zone. Ayan, kompleto yan. Hindi ko alam yung zip code, sorry. Ayan. Shout out to Miss Marisa Agong. Thank you so much for coming over, of course. Maraming salamat sa ating admin ng Gav Community FB page at Gav page YouTube channel. Kahit nasa work ka, pero nakaka-sybet ka, nakaka-segue ka, na nanonood ngayon. Ayan, baka masunog yung sinaing. Charot. Ayan. So, GAVarkadz. GAVarkadz, itong ating special guest ngayon is hindi lang basta-basta na nagtatrabaho para lang sa tinatawag nating earning, di ba? Ika nga masarap na ang tawag doon, paid off lahat ang pagod. Totoo yan. Pero, Ma'am Casey, bilang isang manager, anong feeling mo sa iyong mga subordinates, sa iyong mga tao na minamanage, of course, to your personnel, anong feeling na meron ka na pinaparamdam sa kanila bilang mga manggagawa? So ano ba yung gusto mong nila, maramdaman nila, ma-feel nila bilang isang subordinate?
Yeah, so ang natutunan ko sa mga naging managers ko din at sa mga manager ko ngayon, actually habang tumatagal na realize ko na the most humble leaders are the most effective ones. Um, so yung boss ko ngayon, he's British, and he was very intimidating in the beginning, no? Napakataas ng requirements niya from people, and I was really intimidated by him. He was the leader of our organization, and I didn't report to him then. And then itong lately, sa kanya na ako nagre-report. And then what I learned from him is he listens to everyone's ideas. No? He respects ideas from other people, and then his manager, no, our vice president, is the same way. She is the vice president for a very big business within Amazon, and she's very smart and very intimidating, but also listens a lot and respects everybody in the room, kahit na ilang levels down yung kausap niya. So I think that's my desire as well, is that I accord the same, respect to, and I listen to the people that I work with and that work for me. Alam mo, kapag manager ka, hindi naman ibig sabihin ikaw yung pinakamagaling. 'Di ba? Nagkataon lang na medyo siguro medyo mas may konti kang experience at you are a little bit ahead in years, right? So you're given that position, but it doesn't mean na alam mo lahat, at maraming alam ang mga tao mo na hindi mo alam. Especially if they are the ones trying to solve a problem, they probably know better than you about that problem that they're trying to solve, because they're the ones who are working on that problem, right? So you have to listen to them, and start from a place of trust as a manager. Hindi yung that people have to earn your trust, right? You give them trust to start. Yun yung desire ko as a manager, is that I give my employees the respect that they deserve, right? And I should listen to what they have to say. That's my learning as well from the managers that I work for.
Wow, amazing. Diba? Sabi nga ni Ma'am, na ating moderator, Ma'am King Tugado, diba? Sabi, the most humble leaders are the most effective ones. So meron tayong taga-summarize ng mga bagay.
Minutes of the meeting.
A manager listens. And to earn your people's trust, you give them trust. First, of course, give them the respect they deserve. Thank you so much, Ma'am King. Shout out to our 22K viewers. Napakaraming viewers dito sa GAVpage YouTube channel kaysa sa FB page natin. Usually, ganun naman. So, thank you so much. Hello, Ivory Tugna. Welcome. Thank you so much. Ayan, GAVarkadz. Ma'am TC, syempre, isang manager. A good manager listens. And a good manager actually is humble. Kayo ba sa inyong mga anak? Mga anak. Is a mom like you is a good listener too, and a humble mom too with your kids. So how would you relate of being a manager at your work and being a mom to your phone?
Interesting. My husband actually, I think, is the better parent.
So she must hands-on. Okay.
Yeah. Not just hands-on, but also better at teaching our kids. Lalo na with when we got here, the biggest difference, for us when we got here was wala na silang mga yaya, no? Kasi nasa Manila kami, may yaya sila, may mga may mga katulong kami sa bahay na tinutulungan kami para sa mga pangangailangan nila. Pagdating dito, di ba, kami na lang. So, lately, this past couple of years, they've learned how to be more responsible They do house chores, and it's my husband that teaches them that. And I really find it admirable because they're boys, right? And when you're raising boys, you have to think that they will be future husbands someday, right? So, kailangan marunong sila ng mga bagay na mga gawaing bahay. Kasi pag nag-asawa sila, hindi nila dapat i-expect na ang babae ang gagawa ng lahat. Dapat sila ay katulong ng kanilang mga asawa. No? So, I don't know if I'm the same in terms of if it translates really well, me being a manager and me being a parent, but in terms of listening, I think as a parent, you should also listen to what's not being said. No? Ano yung mga bagay na hindi mo naririnig sa mga anak mo? Importante. It's as important as the things they say are the things that they don't say. So you have to pay attention to those as well. So yeah, I think that's listening for sure is important. But as a parent, you also have to pay attention to you have to pay close attention to the changes in them, no? Kung ano mga bagong sinasabi or hindi sinasabi ng mga bata, no? For them this year has been really challenging, because for instance, for my 10-year-old, he has been stuck in the house for a year, right? So for a 10-year-old, that's 1/10 of his life. Na sa atin, ang isang taon ay hindi malaking bagay. Sa isang 10-year-old, yan ay that's a long time for a 10-year-old to be in the house, right? So it was important for us to really pay attention to his development, his social development as well, kasi online nga lahat, no? So kailangan lagi may balance with gadgets, with doing schoolwork, doing housework, reading time, no? So lahat ng yun. So yeah, listening, and paying attention. Yeah, paying attention to your children and the clues in the house is important.
Okay. Oh, ang galing talaga nito ating candidate number 14, GAVarkadz. So, Ma'am Lucia, so kanina kasi more on sa trabaho mo, no? Ngayon more on bilang nanay tayo. Maraming nanonood ngayon mga nanay. Yung mga gusto parang maging nanay, mga lifers group dito sa GAVpage YouTube channel. Okay. So, yung mga nanay ng mga batang-bata pa ngayon. So, si Ma'am Tacy kasi GAVarkadz, ang kanyang eldest, I think, is 23. Am I right?
Yeah.
So, your eldest is 23 and the youngest is 10. So, Ma'am Tacy, do you think you have enough time with your kids spent? So, how do you spend time with your kids, especially you're too busy? And before, you were in Manila and syempre, napunta ka dyan. So, magkakaiba nga, syempre, yung community environment, pati yung mga kids, nag-adjust naman lahat, no? So, gaano ka-importante ang bawat minuto na pwede mo spend sa yung mga kids? And how do you spend it with them, of course? And also to your husband.
So actually, it's better now than when I was in Manila. Because when I was in Manila, I had, although the job was similar, I traveled a lot. No, nung time na yun, I was overseeing 6 sites in the Philippines, and may mga araw na I have to be in Cebu, I have to be in Davao. So, I would be gone for 2 days or 3 days, or sometimes, if I have to go to other countries or go to the US or go to Europe for work as well, I would be gone for sometimes 2 weeks. Dito na lang nung nasa Seattle na kami, syempre dito ang headquarters, so mas marami nagta-travel to Seattle than me leaving, right? I got to spend more time with them while we were here, and also so we do things together as a family, even in the pandemic, no? So for instance, we hike. as a family. We try to, because I'm really lazy. Hindi ako masipag sa exercise. So we try to make it as exciting as possible to get some exercise. So we hike as a family. And then these past few months, it has been the winter season. So nag-aral kaming mag-ski as a family. So those are the things that we do. We do things together. But I think I've read a lot and I've thought a lot about this as well. Uh, because obviously I worry about, am I being a good parent, right? You worry about those things, and um, there are studies that say, as a parent, the best thing that you can do is to be present. No, kahit na wala kayong ginagawa together, yung nandiyan ka lang, no? Na kapag kailangan ka, andiyan ka, and you're a constant presence in the house for your children. And so those are the things that I do. I'm not saying that I'm hardly the best parent, right? We are all trying to be uh, good uh, for our kids, right, as parents. But those are the things that I've done. I've tried to do is to try to do things together as a family. Kailan yun, the last couple of months, we were teaching them chess kasi nanood kami ng, I think there's this Netflix series, The Queen's Gambit, and we got into chess as a family. So we were doing tournaments in the house. And then Sebastian, who is the older of the two boys here, he's 12 now. He's a big reader, so that's something that him and I share because we both like to read. So we talk about the books that we read. So those are the things that I do. I am not really able to tutor them because first of all, I'm not the most patient person. I'm not the most patient person. So, minsan nauuna yung inis mo, di ba? Lalo na pag hindi nakikinig. So, I try to let them be and, for them to do their homework on their own. And they have a tutor. So, may tutor sila na taga Manila. They meet with their tutor online, no? Yun yung tumutulong sa homework nila. So I also recognize that because I'm sometimes tired from work, right? I'm not the best person to teach them. So I recognize that limitation. So I try to address that in a different way. Yeah. So as a parent, yun yung mga ginagawa namin is hiking and learning things together.
Wow. Diba? Learning things together, GAVarkadz. Ayan, bilang mga magulang, at hindi lang yon, tsaka yung constant presence. Totoo yun, no? Kaya yung mga kanta na mga naririnig natin, you just call out my name, o, diba? One call away, o, diba? Sa sandaling kailangan. Diba? Kahit sa mga kaibigan, sa mga ka-work, kaklase, alam niyo na yan. Diba? Kaya sabi nga, it's not a matter of that you talk the whole day. It's a matter to see each other. So parang kahit anong mangyari, nandyan si mama. So parang feel secured talaga yung mga anak. Nandyan si papa, di ba? So yung mga ganun, feel secured. Di ba? The feeling of security. So Ma'am Casey, ito ay second to the last question ko na lang po ito. Promise, oo. Dahil kayo, sabi nyo kanina, you were used to travel. When you were in Manila, you go to Cebu, to Davao, different sites. You have 6 sites in the Philippines visiting most probably, malamang araw-araw yan. So sometimes you are na out of the country, 2 weeks, ang tagal. So, paano nyo naman na preserve ang inyong ugnayan bilang magkabiyak ng iyong husband? And how will you describe your husband? Not only as a supportive husband, but how are you going to describe your husband na kung gaano niya inuunawa lahat yung mga ganung pagkakataon? Or are there any conflicts before or yung mga pinagtalunan yung bagay? How
did you solve those conflicts? Paano na-solve yung mga ganun? So para yung mga nakikinig dito, na konting kibot lang, di ba, nakikipagsigan, sumigaw yung babae, sumigaw din lalaki. Sumigaw yung lalaki, sumigaw yung babae. Umuwi sa nanay yung babae, nagpapahabol, hindi hinabol. Hindi marunong. Diba? So ma'am, ano rin ang may isa-suggest or may papayo mo sa mga nakikinig at nanonood ngayon dito? Di ba? Lalo na kay Rachel. Rachel. Rachel
pinapatamaan. Lazada harem.
Ayun. Maraming salamat. Di ba? Nandito rin po si Pabebeng Diva. Ayan, no? Ayan, si Pabebeng Diva. So, Ma'am Tacy, sige. Maganda yung tanong ko, di ba?
Tama tayo yung tanong, no? So, nung bago pa lang kami nagsisimula, yung mga away namin was because I wanted to discuss things and he did not, no? So, I'm the kind of person na kung tayo ay may problema, gusto ko pag-usapan. Siya naman yung type na ayaw niya pag-usapan. Kailangan mag-uusap kami kapag okay na siya at ayaw niya na pag-usapan yun. And it was because I came from a very noisy household, no? Ang kinalakihan ko ay yung nanay ko at yung mga kapatid niya, no? They are always arguing, no? They are very transparent with their feelings, and that's what I observed as a child. Siya naman, ang pinanggalingan niya is a very strict father, no? Tapos hindi siya masyado nakapag-express ng sarili niya sa tatay niya nung lumalaki siya. So because his dad was very strict. So iba yung kinalakihan niya. Yung kinalakihan niya is tahimik na household, no? Hindi nag-aaway. So it was a recognition on our part, both, no, that the reason why we are the way we are is because of where we came from in our childhoods, no? And when I recognized that, then I started to respect that if he wanted to not talk about it, I have to respect that. And at the same time, as much as he can, when I want to talk about it, he will try to. So hindi naman perfect, you know. It's an adjustment on both sides, no. So yun yung, I think, importante with couples is you respect each other where you are both from. Hindi naman, you know, when a person is the way he is, it's not because it's his choice or her choice, right? We are a product of different things in our lives, right? Not everything is in our control. So you cannot teach somebody na tahimik na maging maingay, right? In the same way that you cannot teach somebody na maingay na wag magsasalita, di ba? So it has to be you both respecting what each person's needs are, right? So yun yung adjustment namin when we started in our early years, and now it's very easy. So kung may conflict now is I know how to leave him alone, right? And it's not because, you know, it's not because I have nothing to say, but it's because I respect that my husband needs space. And then when he's ready to talk, he will also talk, right? So yun ang natutunan ko. Wala ako masyadong advice. I mean, my husband is, like I said, very supportive, but also he is his own person, right? He has his own goals, his own things that he wants to do, and I also need to support him and recognize that. Yeah. So, but you know, I say this now, right, Vic? But when I was younger, I was very different in relationships. I wanted, I wanted to if I wanted something, it had to happen now, or it had to happen today. I was very impatient, but it was a lesson that I had to learn, right? And you have to pay attention to those lessons in life, right? And so that you can become better. And I think I'm a little bit better now, right? It's never perfect, but I try to be a better wife and partner to my husband by, respecting what he wants in the same way that he respects what I want. Yeah. So, for instance, a very good example is ayoko magluto. No, Vic, hindi ako magaling sa kusina. It's not something, it stresses me to cook. I am not good at it. And he doesn't force me to do that, right? So he respects me in that. So he fulfills that need of the family because I'm not good at it. I think the other, yeah. So I think respect is very important. I think the other thing that is also key is you have to talk about money as a husband and wife. It's important very early in your relationship that you understand, how you both, what is your relationship to money, the both of you, and you have to be compatible there. Otherwise, it's a source of conflict. So yeah, money is hindi dahil sa, alam mo yun, hindi dahil sa may mga, it's more about what is your approach and what is your view about how to manage your finances is a very important aspect, because syempre, if your needs are not taken care of as a family, it's a stressor, yeah, right? It's a source of stress for you as a couple. So you have to really agree on that part. That's very important. In the same way that you think about, you have to agree on, faith, right? What is your faith as a couple, right? What is your approach in raising children as a couple? You have to agree to those things. Those are major things that you have to agree on. And if you don't agree on those things, you both won't be successful, right? So yeah. So yun yung natutunan ko bilang isang asawa.
Yes, ako talaga naman. GAVarkadz, no? Andito si Aling Ami Adrales, shout out. Ayan. Hello also the DJ Alcantara. Nag-love shout out to all. Ayan. No? Mini-mention ka na ni Rachel Ami. Gumaganti siya. Shout out daw. Mary Jean Bayabay, thank you rin sa inyo. Welcome. Of course, GAVarkadz. Grabe, no? We really learn a lot from listening from people like our special guest. She had a lot of experiences. Totoo yun. Recognizing yung hindi lang yung ating kung ano merong magaganda, kundi we need to recognize also kung ano yung mga pangit at di natin kayang gawin. We need to recognize our limitations then. So, sa relationship sa mga may asawa dyan, sa may mga partners, so all you have to do talaga is yung ano talaga pangunawa din. Unawain nyo, hindi talaga marunong magprito Diba?
Laging sunog, Vic.
Yan, naglaga pa nga ng itlog, nasunog pa itlog. Diba? Nalimutan Naglalaro kasi ng ML. Nanonood ng K-drama. Ano magagawa natin? Diba? Minsan nagpakulo ako ng tubig, nasunog pa yung takori. Ano magagawa natin talaga? Nalimutan. Ayan. Hello to Rose and Banyas. Maraming salamat sa pagdating mo sa Patamsa. Maraming salamat sa support. GAVarkadz, our special guest is all the way from Shell, Washington. Shell, Washington from USA. Ayan. So, Ma'am Daisy, she's an Olonga Peña, of course. So, maraming salamat. You made our morning not only having happy thoughts, of course, but we really learned a lot. At yung ating moderator mukhang busy na sa kanya.
May online class na.
Mukhang hindi ka papasa sa klase ngayong umaga. Sa amin hindi ka pumasa kasi hindi mo tinapos yung ating klase. So nag-escape ka. Ayan. So GAVarkadz,
hindi ko na patatagalin yung time na kasama natin pa nga. Baka kasi inaantok na rin. Baka nilalamig na po siya. Si Ma'am Daisy. Ma'am Daisy, what would be the best actually, last and final words just for this show, ang final words sa ating GAVarkadz na gusto mong sabihin sa lahat, especially to the working moms, to the partners that they have, so sa mga bilang isang ina din. So wag na po sa mga manggagawa, okay na tayo doon. So maraming nanay na nanonood talaga, promise. Maraming nanay na nanonood ngayon at mga asa-asawa ng kanilang asawa. Go ahead, Mama Daisy.
Napakahirap naman ang tanong na yan, Vic. Ano bang, una, siguro salamat sa pag-invite. I hope that I was able to share, some of my experiences, and it was, that it was interesting for your viewers. So thank you for inviting me. I'm always proud to be from Olongapo, and these things are, ito yung mga bagay na nakakatuwang gawin, no? So thank you for inviting me. Sa mga listeners naman, wala naman ako masyadong advice. All I did was really just share my own experiences sa mga magulang at I don't really have I think the things I said today, right, were very specific to those topics. I guess the summary of it is you have to continue learning. No, learning doesn't stop yung pag-graduate mo. No, you're always a student of life, and you always have to be learning in life. Kahit gaano ka nakatanda, wala namang limit ang kaya nating matutunan. Napakaraming kailangang matutunan in life. So yeah. So thank you, Vic. I really had a good time. Thank you.
Yes, maraming salamat, Ma'am Daisy. Of course, GAVarkadz, so especially sa mga working moms, sa mga may asawa, partner, o sa mga may jowa. So learn how to adjust to, guys, in life. We should really learn a lot. Narinig natin, age is not a matter. It's not even a factor for us to stop learning. When especially kahit na nanay ka na o lola ka na, so learn to adjust also with the situations sa ating kapanahunan. Hindi na po panahon ng World War II ngayon o panahon ng mga tinatawag natin. So napakabilis ng advancement and technology. So thank you so much, Ma'am Daisy. We're really,
thank you, Vic.
Not wishing for you, but we're praying for your success as always, as a manager, as managing people, of course, with your kids and your husband and your extended families, of course, and your friends. So maraming salamat sa inyong batch na nanood kanina dito. Kay Mami Georgie, Mami, ingat po kayo. Good health.
Thank you.
God bless you. And GAVarkadz, it's time to bid temporary goodbye to our special guest all the way from Seattle, Washington, USA, Ma'am Daisy Gonzales. Thank you so much. And God bless po. See you again soon. Bye-bye po. Thank you so much. God bless po. Ayan, GAVarkadz. So gusto ko muna mag-promote ang ating mga next shows ngayon. So syempre, we really learned a lot from our special guest, Ma'am Daisy Gonzales. And she's staying in the US right now. At sana marami rin kayo natutunan, no? Kung mananalate kayo, if you wanted to learn more about our discussions for today dito sa Monday episode ng Great Morning GAVarkadz with our special guest, you could watch it right away dito sa Gav Community FB page. At kung sa YouTube channel naman ay mamaya pa po yon, mga bandang hapon yun na abangan. So, ipinoprocess pa kasi ang video pagdating sa YouTube channel. And but this time, today is Monday, I'd like to invite you to our show tonight, GAVarkadz. Let us join Gab Musica Hands with our night vibes. Mamayang gabi kasama natin si Needs, David, Ron, and Mer. Hindi lang sila kakanta, kundi sila pa yung magpapasaya sa atin because tonight is gonna be a fun night. And tomorrow morning, GAVarkadz, samahan niyo ako sa ating pag-uusap sa umaga. Kwentuhan natin habang nagkakape sa ating bagong topic. Don't waste. Huwag tayong magsayang. Huwag tayong magtapon. Ayan, don't waste. Okay, marami yan. Malamang bukas ng umaga, meron na namang mga mag-i-emote. Ayan. You're always a student of life. O, diba? Totoo yan. From Ma'am Daisy. Ayan, sa ating moderator. Thank you daw, Ma'am Daisy. Ayan. Of course, thank you, Ma'am King Together for, sa pagpapa-experience sa ating GAVarkadz ng ganitong uri ng nilalang sa pamamagitan ni Ma'am Tis, of course, sa kanyang mga magulang at mga kapatid. Thank you so much also. And to all the batchmates and classmates who watched actually a while ago. And guys, tomorrow is Tuesday. Samahan nyo rin ako sa tanghali, alas 12:30. Oo, so mag-a-adjust kami nito ng aking estudyante sa online na voice lesson ko. Ayan. Because sa hapon din, Martes, meron po tayong alas 5. Ayan. Oo nga, hindi kaya naisip to. May alas 5 din. So, pero kaya ng power siyan kasi hindi naman ako yung kakanta lang bukas. Kukuha ako syempre ng songers ko, di ba? Ako pa ba? Ayan, alas 5 ng hapon din bukas. We'll talk about confidence. It's all about limiting beliefs. Ang pag-uusapan talaga with Ma'am Lynn Malaluan, all the way from London, UK. Ayan, maraming salamat. Wednesday, alam naman natin, kapehan pa rin sa Gab Kwentuhan sa umaga. At meron din tayong special guest sa ating Great Morning GAVarkadz, si Sir Wax Benson. Ayan. Okay, so ano to, from, he's a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert. So malalaman natin, hindi ako masyadong maalam, malamang sa IT yan, IT kamako. That will be Wednesday morning. And in the afternoon, we have 4 p.m. Samahan natin Mano Anyan, Kantahan at Katuwaan. Ating mga host ay si Sir Mano and si Coach Yan. They are both from Dumaguete City, sa Negros. Ayan, so samahan natin sila. And sa gabi naman, ay samahan po natin ang ating Gab Musicans with the Rhythm and Blues, with Ate Weng, of course, Sir Joseph, Jimuel, and Miss Lorena. Ayan, at Webes po ng umaga, kapen sa Gab Kwentuhan sa umaga pa rin. At pagdating ng tanghali, alam nyo na, kakanta pa rin ako. Ganun. Kakanta pa rin kami. Diba? Gab Kantahan sa tanghalian, 12:30 ng tanghali. At of course, hapon meron tayong Great Talks GAVarkadz. Conversations with inspiring people. Ating guest ay mula pa sa Belgium. She is Miss Ami Bobawang. She is a proud Igorota from Benguet. Ayan. Okay, no? Great Talks on Thursday. So alam niyo na pag mga ganyan, di ba? Alam niyo na mga lifers kung meron pag ganyan, ha? Ayan. So nagpapasalamat sa ating special guest. Thank you for inviting me, Vic and King. More power to your show. God bless you, Mama Tacy. God bless you more in your family, in your work, of course, and everything that you do. Ayan, maraming salamat. GAVarkadz will be on Thursday in the afternoon at 5 p.m. Our special guest is from Belgium. At masusundan niya ng Usapang Pag-ibig. Usapang Pag-ibig kasama na ating love team host, Nids and David, of course, Thursday. Friday, kasama niyo pa rin ako sa Kapen sa Gab Kwentuhan sa umaga alas 8. At pagdating na alas 10 ng umaga naman, ang ating Great Morning GAVarkadz pa rin with Sir Manolito Saldivar. Ayan, mag-feature kami ng kanyang mga estudyante, yung kanilang mga short videos taken from different places and sceneries in Dumaguete City around Negros. At interviewin din natin sila kung bakit yun ang kanilang napiling i-feature para sa atin sa umaga na yan. Friday, at sa Friday naman ng hapon, samahan natin ang ating 4 na nagagandahan dilag, our Happy Divas. At 5 p.m. we have ang Komikerang Diva, Angelic Diva, Pabebeng Diva, at ang Pretty Diva na. Hindi lang sila nagpapatawa, kundi magagandang boses, magagaling kumanta. Every Fridays at 5 p.m. GAVarkadz. At masusundan niya ng Sabado. Abangan niyo po, before the end of March, we'll be giving another show every Fridays at 7:30 p.m. onwards. Ayan, abangan niyo po yan. Abangan niyo muna, wala pa akong i-announce. Abangan niyo lang, very soon. Saturday, Kapehan sa Gab Kwentuhan sa umaga pa rin at sa umaga. At pagdating po ng hapon, we have 3 shows that starts at 4 p.m. Ito ating mga bagets at mga natag dito, chikiting. Ayan. With McCoy and Friends. Ayan. Our artists and hosts are coming from the NCR, McCoy, Loisa, Fanny, and Yuan with Brianna from Olongapo City, of course. And at 6:30 p.m., samahan natin si Ma'am Jerry para sa Jerry Views, Food and Product Reviews, also with services. Kasama natin ang ating review master, Ma'am Jerry, of course. At 8 p.m., samahan naman natin ang Sabado Kwela. Naku, maabot ng ating gabi sa kanilang kwentuhan. At abangan nyo rin po yung pag-games. Hindi ko pa na-finalize yung kanyang pinakakatawan ng games. Pero huwag kayo mainip, GAVarkadz. Pag Sabado yan. Pag Linggo, alam niyo naman, ganun pa rin, Kapehan sa Gab Kwentuhan sa umaga. Daily shows natin yan. Alas 8. And then, pagdating ng hapon, Around the World with Gab. Dadali na naman natin kayo sa ibang planetang Earth. Ayan, around the world with Gav, ang guest natin is from London, UK. She is Miss Clarice Lagman Azevedo. She is a nurse by profession, a music lover. I saw in stock ko yan sa FB. Nakita ko yung kanyang she knows how to sing and how to play guitar. And she is the 2019 Mrs. Philippines UK, 2020 Mrs. UK Universe, and the 2020 Philippine Faces of Success. That will be on Sunday, guys, at 5 p.m. Hello to Aaron Janunay. Good morning sa Aaron. Wow, ang aga mo para mamaya. Charot lang. Ayan. And pagdating naman pagsapit ng gabi, alas 8 ng gabi, Sunday Kantawanan. Ayan, samahan po natin si Kiko from Cabanatuan City, McCoy from Antipolo City, Tech all the way from Pasay City, and Jomi also from Cabanatuan City. They're from Nueva Ecija. Sunday ng gabi. Ayan. So maraming salamat. So guys, join us tonight, okay, para sa ating night vibes with the Bear family. Mga Mama Bear needs Papa Kawarabel David, Cutie Bear Rohan, at ang pamain na bear, si Murmur. Murmur! That will be tonight at 6 p.m. So GAVarkadz, maraming salamat. And soon, we will unveil and launch this Pinoy Worldwide Singing Sensations 2021. So lahat ng Pinoy, kahit na half Pinoy, 1/4 Pinoy, basta may duwong Pinoy. 5 to 50 years old. There will be 3 categories. We have the kids, the teens, and the main category, of course, or the adult category. So abangan po natin yan. So tinatapos na yung ating website na bago. Para doon na po lahat magpasa ng entries, yung ating worldwide contenders, of course. So this is brought to us by Gav PH and Gav Community and our international in Gav UK, of course, with my Sisi at Alcanta. Salamat. GAVarkadz, you have joined me with so much time today. Kanina pang alas 8 na umaga tayo magkakasama sa kapihan sa Gav Kwentuhan sa umaga. And now we have this great morning GAVarkadz, or morning dose of happy thoughts, also with Miss Maria Exaltacion Gonzales, aka Miss Daisy, of course. She is an Olongapeña based in USA right now, working with her family, of course. Maraming salamat GAVarkadz. So let us stay strong. Let's stay, healthy and positive in everything. Let us not stop learning. Let us always learn from every day, from anyone else, and from within ourselves. God bless. Stay happy because happiness is a choice. Piliin natin maging masaya. Thank you so much and bye-bye. See you again tonight at 6 p.m. Bye-bye.